Find the derivative of y equals cosine inverse of 1 over x. All right, so of course we see here that this is the inverse cosine function, right? So there is a formula for this, right? So if y is equal to the cosine inverse of, we're going to call it u now, okay? We're assuming that u is a function of x, right? Then the derivative dy dx, okay? So of course the cosine inverse, the derivative, is going to be negative 1 over radical 1 minus u squared. But what do we have to multiply this by? Right, by the chain rule, we have to find the derivative of that inner term, right? The du dx. Right? Well, what do we have in this case? In this case, we know that u equals 1 over x, right? It's this guy right here. So basically, we are finding the cosine inverse of u. All right, let's go ahead. I mean, this is really what we're finding here, right? So we're really going to do these two things. So we're going to plug in that u equals 1 over x here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we get dy dx is going to be, so following this formula here, we get negative 1 over radical 1 minus u squared. But what do we put in the place of u squared? We just put this guy here, right? So what is, if u equals 1 over x, right, then what is u squared going to be? Right, well, that's just going to be 1 over x squared. Okay, times du dx. Well, here's u, right? I know that u is equal to 1 over x, so what is du dx then? Okay, well, we've done this many times, right? This is x to the negative first power. So the derivative by the power rule is going to be negative 1. Well, x to the negative second power, so just negative 1 over x squared, right? So we'll multiply this by negative 1 over x squared. Now, of course, this is in the radical. This is not, so we cannot combine these, but we can put this into one fraction, right? The negative signs will cancel out, so we can get the final answer here of 1 over x squared times radical 1 minus 1 over x squared in the radical, and this is going to be our derivative.